Hi everyone. I have had quite a few questions about using speech to text for students to write who might struggle to write by hand or for a student who might be visually impaired who struggles to type fast enough with a keyboard. So I am going to share with you today a few things that you can do for voice typing. So first of all, if your student uses Google Docs often to compose documents, Google Docs actually has a tool built in. Now some of you might have used this before. This is kind of a pretty common one that we show kids to use. But if you go to the tools and then you go down to voice typing, now if you notice there's a shortcut, Control Shift S, that if you use this frequently, that might actually be a good shortcut that you want to memorize. You just Control Shift S, press it, and you can toggle this on and off. But I'm going to select voice typing, and then this little microphone icon will pop up. And then when your student is ready to type, when the cursor is in the spot they want to type in, they will go ahead and click this. And as you can see, the microphone icon turns red when it is recording, period. And I am currently typing with my voice, period. As you can also tell, comma, I have to tell it where I want to put punctuation, period. Okay, so as you can tell, it's pretty good at understanding what I'm saying. Sometimes I just tell students they have to kind of talk slowly. But really, a lot of times, you kind of slow down to think about what you want to say anyways, so it's pretty good at keeping up for the most part. So that's a really great option for Google Docs, and I recommend students using this in Google Docs. But there are times that they might want to be typing in other areas that they really need voice to text features. So if you go to your Chrome Web Store, actually you could just do a Google search for Chrome Web Store, and that'll pop up. And then you're going to search for voice in. So this is the icon, what the icon looks like. It's just an extension that will come up for your Google Chrome. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on this Add to Chrome button. Okay, and it'll pop up and say, yes, do you really want to? So I'll say add. And then once it loads, it'll pop up here into my shortcuts here. So there it did, and there's the icon. When I click this, it'll go away. So see this little puzzle piece here? When I hover over it, it says extensions. If I click that, that's all the extensions that I have loaded. And I have some pinned that you see up there and some not. So I'm going to go to this voice in typing, and I'm going to pin it. And then that actually puts the icon up in my shortcuts so that I can find it easily. Okay, so now I have this student check-in survey. So something in Google Forms that a student might want to complete and need to type for. So something to note that whenever this is gray, it's not listening, but if it's red, it's listening. So if I activate it and I start talking, wherever I click, it's going to put all that text. So you kind of want to train the students on that. So I'm going to click in this text box. I'm going to activate it. It'll turn red. Lori. Okay, and then after I was done, I had to turn it off so it didn't listen to me anymore. But I'll show you an example of this. Now that the icon is red, it's listening to me, and you can see the text being written across the screen. If I click in another text box, it will put all of that in there. Okay, so you do want to be careful that students know this ahead of time and they don't get frustrated by it. So once I turn that off, now it's not listening to me anymore. I can speak and do whatever I need to do. And then now that I'm ready to type in this box, I'm having trouble with my math homework, period. Okay, so that's just really handy, just a handy way for students to be able to type in, if they have a quiz that's on Google Forms or things like that. Another thing I guess I didn't mention is that you can do a Google search with it as well. So here, there is a search by voice feature, but it also works there. math help. Okay, so I could do a whole Google search or whatever using that if I chose not to use the search by voice feature there. The other thing that I think that's really good for is that if a student wants to compose an email, there's really no option for that built in. So this is a great tool for that. So again, you just open the email, you put your cursor where you want it to go. I am typing this message with voice in texting, period. It is a great tool, period. Okay. So as you can see, as it was listening to me, it wasn't capitalizing things, and sometimes it will listen and think it's something different, and then when it actually puts it in, it usually gets it right. There are times that if I speak quickly, it doesn't recognize it as well. So that's just something when you're training a student how to use it, just something to think about. So I hope that these are helpful tools to you. Again, the Google Doc tools that are already built in, I would definitely recommend sticking with for when if you're using a Google Doc. But any other um, program that's not available for um, this voice in text extension is really, really nice. So I hope that's helpful to you. Please reach out if you have any questions. Thanks.